Aruda results. We've studied Arudas. Now we will get into what they mean, what they do, various functions of the Aruda. Atapadam.
Atapadam.
Now we will speak of padas, is what this says. What is the Katrapayari of Ata? Is? 0. Ta is? Let's try. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Ta, ta, da, da, na. 7.
7.
Okay. You should brush up on your Katrapayari. 0, 7, right? 70. Remove multiples of 12.
60,
10.
No.
Did you say 70?
70.
8, isn't it?
What is the closest?
10.
60 is the
60,
closest.
So it's 10.
So it becomes 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
Okay. So it says something about 10 and padam. Okay. You should think about that. Maybe there's something meaning to this. Maybe it's just now we're reading padas. Could be both.
But why 10?
Well, let's see what happens when we go through this. Okay. Remember it. Now, repeat after me. Vyaye,
Vyaye,
sagrahe,
Sagrahe,
graha drishte,
Graha Drishte,
va,
Va,
shrimanta.
Shrimanta.
Okay. Vyaye means which house? 12th house. But Jaimini will not use the words of the houses. So what is Vyaye? Va is? Va is? Should we take Va or Ya? Which two? Va is writing Ya, so Ya is the one.
Yeah.
So Ya and Ya. What is Ya?
1.
What is other Ya?
Also 1.
11. So he's referring to, if the 11th house has grahas, or there's graha drishti on it, either of the two, it'll make you a Shrimanta.
What's that?
Shrimanta, one who is having the blessings of Shri. 11th house, Shri. I said I'd prove to you that Ekadashi is for Lakshmi. I said I'd prove it to you. Ekadashi is Lakshmi. Now you know why. If 11th house from Aruda Lagna is having grahas or has graha drishti, you will have the blessings of Shri. Jaimini, you're smart. Smart fellow. Very good. So everybody's looking at the 11th house from Aruda Lagna. Now you know you're looking at Shri. That's Lakshmi over there. She sits over there. It is the harbinger of prosperity and indicates the sources of enrichment or wealth. Such a planet is the fulfiller of hopes. Graha Drishti is specifically mentioned in addition to the Rashi Drishti of planets and the conjunctions. The 11th house from every Aruda is the source of gains for that Aruda. You can even use Argala.
Then I should change mine.
Yeah, you should change it.
Yes. Venus is there.
Yeah. You think?
Yes.
A good idea. No, I think so too. It's a good Aruda over there. Well, let's see which grahas are good there. Shubher Nyaya Vallabha. Sorry, what did I say? No. Shubher Nyaya Labha. Nyaya Labha. Good. Benefics indicate gains through good means, righteous means, or legally acceptable methods.
What is Surya considered in this benefic?
We'll see. Maybe he'll mention Surya. Okay. But obviously you can refer, Nyaya refers to law, that which is legal. So you think Surya will use legal means?
Yes.
Correct. Legal means. Okay. Paper.
Paper.
Amargena. Amarga means bad path, wrong path. Okay? The other path. Paper means malefics. So, malefics associated indicate gains through questionable and illegal means.
That's also for Rashi Drishti on
malefic drishti on the
All of them. Even Argala. I'll show you Argala how it's used later. Argala is very interesting. But we have to differentiate. Graha Drishti will act in a different way. Rashi Drishti will act in a different way. Argala will act in a different way. It's not like you can club all of them in one group and it'll all work the same way. It won't. It works in different ways. Uchadi bhi,
Uchadivi
Visheshat,
Visheshat
exaltation or own sign placement or etc. of the planet conjoining or aspecting the 11th should be considered. This is the 11th house from any Aruda and not the Aruda of the 11th house. The latter, that means the Aruda of the 11th house, is the manifestation of the 11th house. It shows how people view your gains. It does not show your gains. So it's the 11th from the Aruda which is referred to here. Nietzsche,
Nietzsche
Graha Drigyogada,
Yada
Vyayadikyam.
Yadikyam
Planets joining or aspecting the 12th house from Aruda Lagna cause losses and expenses. Nietzsche means debility, right? Okay. Na is? Na is 0. Cha is 6. 60. Remove multiples of 12, you'll get 0. So instead of 0, we'll take 12th house. Because there's no 0 house. Okay. So, planets associated with the 12th house will give losses. Isn't this a bit of a tricky sutra? If you didn't know, you'd say debilitated grahas will give losses. Okay, because just before he said ucha, exalted grahas will give gains.
As for Ucha.
You don't have to. Ucha can mean exaltation, and ucha can also mean 6th house. Right? Am I wrong?
So this is actually coded.
U is 0. Cha is oh. So 0, 6, 6, 0, 60. Remove multiples of 12, you'll again get 12th house. So it cannot be that it was rated to 12th house earlier. Because then it will say 12th house will give all sorts of different types of wealth. And then it'll say 12th house will also give losses. So they must be different. Ucha means exaltation. Nicha in this context will mean 12th house. Later we'll see Nicha and it doesn't mean 12th house. That is the trick about Jaimini Sutras. Unless somebody knows how to read this and has been taught, this will all look like one big hodgepodge. You will not know the difference. During the periods of planets joining or aspecting the 12th house, the expenses will be more.
Lording
And it cannot mean that Nietzsche Graham in 11th will cause losses. Because I know it's not the...
It will not cause losses. We'll get to that sutra. During the periods of planets joining or aspecting, so that's your answer, not Lord, the expenses will be more. If malefic planets join the 12th house from Aruda Lagna, then the expenses are on bad accounts. So whatever we heard before about benefics and malefics will also apply to 12th from Aruda Lagna. You're spending on good things or bad things, depending on the planets there. Planets inimical to the planet in the 12th house from Aruda Lagna, but having Argala on it, bring enemies due to non-receipt of wealth they expect. This is interesting. I said we'd talk about Argala. So let's say you have a planet in 12th house, and it's giving you an expenditure. Then you may have a graha in 3rd house from Aruda Lagna, which is giving Argala on the 12th house. 4th house Argala, Sukha Argala. If those two, that planet in 12th from Aruda Lagna and the planet in 3rd from Aruda Lagna, are not friendly, then somebody is looking at your expenses and you don't want to give them anything, you don't want to spend on them. Okay? This brings enemies because they didn't receive wealth from you. Interesting. Isn't it? This is a very interesting principle, and it works very well. It's useful when you have a person. They may not be running dasha of 11th lord or 11th house from the Aruda. They may not be running the dasha of the 12th house from the Aruda, but they're running some dasha. What is its argala on the 12th or 11th? Now you know what is going to happen. All dashas to the 12th or 11th house. Somebody wants predictions about finances. Now you know which dasha you're running. How is it related to 11th or 12th house? Argala, Viroda, what's happening? If it has Argala, look carefully. It'll have Argala on one of them. It'll always have Argala on one of the two. Am I right? Either it'll have Argala on 11th or it'll have Argala on 12th. Not both. Can it have both? Research. You can? Okay. How? Let's see. I will take a graha. One planet in Lagna, let's say in Aruda Lagna. It'll give second house Argala to 12th house and third house. It's third house from 11th. Does it give Argala or obstruction? Third house gives Argala.
No,
If it's a malefic, it'll give Argala.
Yes.
So that's the one exception, right? Okay, good. The other houses, will it be the same? Let's say a planet is in second from Aruda Lagna. Who does it give Argala to and who does it obstruct?
12.
It obstructs 12th? Is that what you're saying?
Second house. Second house, yes.
Second house obstructs 12th house. Correct.
With the right one.
And it gives Argala to 11th.
Yes.
Third house.
11.
Let's say a planet is in third house from Aruda Lagna. It will give Argala to who? Viroda to who?
11.
We give Argala to 12th.
It'll give Argala to 12th.
And
Will it give Argala to 11th?
no, Viroda.
Are you sure?
From
It's fifth
11.
from...
5th is Argala or Viroda?
It's Viroda.
5th is the
5th is Viroda.
No,
Fifth is
it's
Argala.
5th is
and
Argala.
Viroda is
So it'll
11.
give Argala to both. Another exception. Okay. In this study you will find that if the planet is a malefic, it can give Argala to both. If in first or second from Aruda Lagna, and in third from Aruda Lagna, it'll always give Argala to both. The other houses, not so. So the first, second and third houses, first, second and third titis have exceptions. The others are not having that. Okay? Then you have to see both. The person will have an interest in your income and your expenditure.
Sounds like a wife.
Maybe.
Is it Argala or Viroda? Viroda, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. She'll definitely obstruct.
Now, this was your expenses. This is necessary to mention first because these are all the people who want money from you. Okay. This next one is for the businessmen. Similarly, planets inimical to the one in the 11th house from Aruda Lagna and having Argala to the 11th house from Aruda Lagna. No, wait, should we rephrase that? If a planet is in 11th house from Aruda Lagna and another graha is giving Argala to that planet and those two are not friendly to each other, then it shows those who tend to block what they owe to the native. So, in other words, if a graha is Argala on your 11th house and it doesn't like your 11th house, then you are not able to receive money from them. So the general principle here is any graha which has Argala on either 11th or 12th will not allow that 11th or 12th to function if they don't like that 11th or 12th. That is the overall principle. If they like your 11th or 12th, they'll support that activity for you. Either your income or your expenditure. If they are inimical, they will not allow it. They'll block it. Either your income or your expenditure. Or they will cause problems there. Good to know. So to know this, we must know what is friendly and what is not. This is a whole table of financial friendships. I thought I had a second. Where did this go? No, it's not here. All right, no problem. Yeah. This table can be learned easily. It can be. Sun only likes Jupiter. So if Sun is in 11th Marura Lagna, only Jupiter will have a good relationship with them. The others will not.
Even if it Lord's 11th, say.
If there are no planets in 11th, then yes. Even if Lord's 11th. Okay. Moon.
So it is mean that Jupiter works something like this.
Jupiter will like to support the Sun, and Sun will like to support Jupiter. Okay. Now let's see. Sun likes Jupiter. Jupiter likes everybody except Mars. So write that down. Quick keywords. Sun likes Jupiter. Jupiter, everybody except Mars.
I mean, is this table symmetrical? I mean, does it work in both directions, like as you had this example, Sun and Jupiter, Jupiter and Sun?
Depends on this. Jupiter, does it like Sun? Yes, it likes Sun. Moon will like Mercury and Jupiter, not the rest. So Moon doesn't even like the Sun. See that? Mars will like Mercury and Venus. We call this the business group. Mars, Mercury, Venus. Mercury is the greatest businessman. He likes everybody. He'll do business with everybody except government, Sun. Except government. Jupiter, you know, everybody except Mars. Venus takes it one step further. He likes everybody, but he doesn't like the king and he doesn't like the bureaucrats. Sun and Moon. Saturn will like Mercury, Jupiter and Venus. Only those three. Rahu is a bit more liberal. He likes Venus and Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury. So again, Venus, Saturn, Mercury plus Jupiter.
But he dislikes the king again.
Yeah, he dislikes the king.
And the bureaucrat.
And finally, Ketu will like Sun and Moon. How should you use this? These grahas, if they are in that house, 11th or 12th, they define what is good or bad income. Okay? They define what is good or bad income, and these grahas, they will support. The rest they will not. So let's say you have Sun in 11th from Arudha Lagna deciding what you must get income from. And let's say Mercury gives Argala to Sun. No, let me take another one. Let's say Mars gives Argala to the Sun. Okay? Then you will find that the Sun will not accept that income from Mars. So you have people who will not give you money.
This regarding of the natural beneficiency of the planet. For instance, if there is Jupiter in 11th, well placed, beautiful, and there is Argala, Mars is making Argala to Jupiter, what does it mean?
It means
Jupiter
Jupiter is not accepting the income from Mars.
From Mars particularly, but
Yes.
it will accept income from
Everyone else.
Everyone
other
else.
world.
Yes.
Other world in
Yes.
general.
Yes.
But don't you, if there's no planet in the 11th from Ruda Lagna,
See
we
the
take
Lord?
the Lord. Yeah.
Because the Graha must have a dominant influence there.
Okay.
The Graha there, or the Lord, indicates what is the definition of what I like and what I don't like.
That's great.
So either Graha there or the Lord you should see.
So it's good to have Mercury there because it'll take everything except from the sun.
Yeah.
Happy time.
So you better hope you're not earning from sun.
So your Arida, for example, in Pisces,
My Aruda is in Pisces.
11th of the
11th they're from is Ketu. I have a problem, I only will accept from sun and moon. The rest I have a problem with.
But Shani is lording of the Capricorn.
I should stick to the Graha there.
Only Graha.
Yes. Okay.
Then king and ministers come to you, maybe.
Maybe. That'll be good, no?
Yes. For the okay.
Are they giving Argala? I have to check also. Check. I think they do. Yes, they do. Sun has Argala. Mars. Yes, Mars has Argala. Both have Argala. Very good. Moon. I should check more appropriately. Moon has Viroda. He's not interested in my income. Only Sun. Only proper politicians. Not even bureaucrats. No low-level fellow. Top.
King.
King only.
Royal.
Maharaja. Okay. Okay.
If too many Grahas there, like my condition, which I should take
Strongest.
strongest.
The one who's going to really define the income. The one who's best placed defines the income you're getting. Okay?
How do we interpret this sign table?
These signs are based on these planets. So just remember this.
Okay, just the plan.
Okay? Alright.
Can we say
For example, I can tell you one thing. For example, let's say Sun is placed. See, this is very helpful. I have to stop myself before I go to the next slide because you have a point there. Good thing you asked. See, these signs can also help you to understand how much wealth it has to give. When Sun is either an exaltation or debilitation, or an own sign, or in these friendly signs, it has that much to give. Okay? Most is exaltation or debilitation. That's most it has to give. Then a little bit less is Mula Trikona. Write that down. Exaltation, debilitation is most resources to take or give. Then Mula Trikona is a bit less than that.
this is for financial issues only?
Yes. Then after Mula Trikona is own sign. Then after own sign is friendly sign. Okay. Then comes inimical sign. Inimical sign means it doesn't want to give you money. There are no resources there to take. No resources. So inimical sign is the worst placement. Worst. Okay. So, if you have, let's say, Sun in Capricorn, it has no resources to give you. So don't look for resources from him. He won't give it. Even if he's in 11th from Rudra Lagna, he won't give it. So don't go for him. He can't give you anything. So don't go for government. Right? Or father figures, son. Alright?
But I am having,
Yeah,
From
so you go
government.
from Mercury and Venus instead.
no, my income is coming from government.
Yeah, and it's an inimical sign, so they don't even want to give you. Inimical sign. They'll give you small nitpicks. Take, but no, don't take. No, don't take. But take if you have to, but I don't want to give you. That's how it's working. They don't have much to give. If it's not in one of these signs, then they don't have much to give. They don't give much wealth. If you had it in own sign, you just shovel in the money from government. You know? You start coming up with, I have this disability, I am entitled to this, I'm soon on pension, I'm in this, and then finally you've made a whole nice 40,000 income of that every month. It's own sign. Exaltation, debilitation, no problem. Just shovel in the money. Okay.
Does this apply only for a Ruda scheme, or can we use that as a general judgment of the position of planets? For instance, okay, Ketu is good in Cancer for this financial purposes,
Yes.
bad in Capricorn
Yes.
or others.
Correct. We use it for this. All schemes related to financial purposes, this is useful. You should use this. Now, everybody's looking at income when they see this. Think about expenditure also. If you have to give somewhere, it's for the investment, right? How much can you give to somebody is also important. Giving is important. Because how much you give is really going to be the basis for how much you can later on benefit from. Investments are really important. How much will somebody else benefit from what you're giving? How much can they receive? How much can you give? It's also based on this. You should choose where to give. Most of the time people are looking for money from you.
Are we looking at temporary relationships between planets as well?
This is what you'll use.
Just that.
That's it.
Anyway, if you spend too much, you'll never get rich. So what's the point?
Where will you get it from? Ravi,
Ravi,
Rahu,
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 Shukrer,
Shukra,
Nripat.
Nripat.
Sun, Venus and Rahu influencing the 12th house shows losses and expenses due to the king. If in the 11th house, it shows gains from them. This king has 3 bodies. Okay. One is the tax man, Sun. Rahu, the deadly spin doctors. Deadly. These are terrible. These are the guys in government which you preferably do not want to meet. They can really take money from you. Venus, district attorney. The lawyer of the government lawyer, we call it. District attorney. State's advocate.
Prosecutor General, I think, in English.
Prosecutor general also. American is district attorney.
Yeah.
The legal body of the government is Venus. So, based on this, you can see who wants to take money from you or whom you can get money from.
But hang on, I have a question.
Hmm.
Say you have Sun in 11th, which is gain from the government, right?
Yes.
In 11 from Lagna.
Yes.
That will
Lagna.
No, wait. 11th house also shows gains.
Yes.
Yes. But you have the same, one of these 3 grahas in 11 from Lagna. That means you will gain on one hand and lose on the other hand.
How? 12th Marula.
Yeah.
See, the
Sorry,
11th
I
house
thought-
from Lagna works differently from the 11th house from Marula. Because the 11th house from Lagna shows in which mood people are in when they give you money. They're in the sun mood, lots of pride. Saturn mood, they're crying, sorrowful. This is good for astrologers. Should have lots of malefics there. So they come and give you money when they're crying, sad. Okay?
From
If you have Jupiter there, they'll be in a mood to increase knowledge, academia. That's their mood, okay? They want prosperity. But the 11th house from the Arudha Lagna shows who it is who's giving you, not their mood. 11th house from Arudha Lagna is actual people and institutions. You see?
And 12th house shows who's actually taking it from you.
From Arudha, yes.
Okay.
Yes. In the translation we have Sun indicates politicians, government in power, politics. So I've added tax body. Venus indicates bureaucrats, yes, those who work with the legal body. Rahu indicates dirty scheming, Machiavellian politics, or fines if with Saturn. Now this is the punishing part of it, and it only punishes through the spin doctors, press secretaries. The new spin doctors are press secretaries. They do all the talking for the government because the politicians obviously can't talk themselves. No?
What if there is no planet, which is, let's say, most common situation in 11th from Ruda Lagna?
See aspects, Rashi Drishti?
Okay.
Can Venus indicates the artists? Cinema artists?
We'll get to
It's
that.
mine.
First we'll deal with this.
Oh, mine. It's done.
Chandra Drishtau,
Chandra Drishta.
Nischena.
Nischena.
If the moon also associates or aspects the 12th house with let's say Sun, Venus or Rahu, these losses are sure to accrue. Now this is standard translation for most people. Okay? We call this the Krishna guarantee. Krishna guarantee. Moon associates, it will happen. You will lose it. See what happens in life. You get a bill. Okay? Sometimes you can avoid paying that bill. Sometimes. Some people can. Some people can. Or somebody wants to take money from you. Maybe you can avoid it. Maybe somebody accuses you of something. You find out, compromise. You don't lose anything. Some big legal cases there. You owe so much in taxes. Maybe it'll be resolved nicely. Maybe it won't. How to be sure if it'll be taken from you or not? The moon indicates whether it'll be taken or not. This exception is very important. The moon has to but aspect that 12th house from the Arudha Lagna to ensure that that is taken from you. But it doesn't have to just aspect. If the dispositor of the moon is there, then that is what then you will also lose. Not aspecting, it has to be joined. So let's say you have Sun in 12th from Arudha Lagna and moon is in Leo. Then surely the Sun will be taken from you. What is the Sun? Taxes. Why should we only deal with this? Mars indicates property. You could lose a lot of property if Mars is in 12th from Arudha Lagna and moon associates with Mars. You will lose property. Okay?
So can I just ask, this Sun, Rahu and Venus, it's not that all three of them have to be at the same time?
No,
just
just one.
One of them.
And it indicates who you're losing from.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Because later on there will be some other
Yeah.
combinations.
Yeah, exactly. So Krishna guarantees the moon. It can also guarantee wealth. Why must it only guarantee loss? 11th from Arudha Lagna, if it associates with the grass there, it guarantees whatever's there, it will happen. This Krishna guarantee, as we call it in the tradition, we'll repeat many times. It can also guarantee that you will die. If your longevity is indicated by a planet, moon associated, it will happen. Or moon associated with a blessing, you will live longer. You will, no doubt. This is a very versatile sutra. Moon is the guarantee. You can call, in this context of Arudas, we say the society accepts this to happen. Society has said this is okay, it must happen.
What about 5 house moon is seeing the 11th house?
Good. That's very nice.
Aspecting, for example.
Like Graha Drishti or Rashi Drishti.
It's in 5th house.
This is, with this one, Rashi Drishti. Rashi Drishti or dispositor in the house. Okay? Or the dispositor associating with that 12th house. I'll show an example soon. The lunar aspect or conjunction of the 12th from Arudha affirms whatever is indicated by other planets, as it shows the support of the society and community for the same. The moon is on your side, you get the support of the society and community. If the sun shows expenses on account of politicians and moon also aspects, this is legitimately expected by society. They expect it to happen. The wishes of the moon can also be carried by the Shubhapati, dispositor of moon, or the Nakshatra lord of the moon as well. If instead the moon supports the native and has Argala on these loss indicators, then the society supports him, and a tide can cause the overthrow of the king or government. Krishna or Somnath. The moon supports the native, that means it's supporting gains. And if it has Argala on these loss indicators, it will not support the loss.
So the loss will not
So when we go back and we say, whatever is in 12th from Arudha Lagna, if moon likes that, it will support it. But what if it's supporting 11th house? Friendly towards 11th house. And has Argala on 12th? Then you'll not support the loss. You'll support gains instead.
Can you make Surya in anatomical science friendly person?
Yeah.
With
There are
Surya
certain
worship?
Aditya mantras you can do for the sign. Okay. Then the resources come out.
Mhm.
Budhena Gyatibhyo, Gyatibhyo,
Katibhyo,
Vivadava.
Vivadava.
Vivadava, sorry. Mercury indicates litigations, debates, or cousins and other relatives. Gyatibhyo, all relatives. Vivadad. Vivadad is people who are being in discord. They are not friendly. You know, they are being separated from each other.
Like legal process. Legal process.
That's only one indication of it. It can mean all places where there's debate and people are not agreeing. So Mercury can indicate gains from that or loss. Guruna. Guruna.
Guruna,
Karamulat.
Karamulat,
Jupiter. Guru. Shows taxes, tolls, interest accruals, banks, financial institutions, and mutual funds. Okay. Taxes. It shows, this can show like a bill from somebody. It need not be from the government. Okay. Interest accruals, banks, financial institutions, mutual funds. So we should analyze Jupiter carefully in the stock market these days. Because this was the cause of a lot of loss recently. Okay.
It's it was nature.
Hmm?
It was nature when the crisis started.
Jupiter was in debility when the whole market crashed. Ah. Kuja Shani Bhyam.
Kuja Shani
Ratrir Mukat.
Bhyam,
Mars or Saturn shows younger or elder siblings, their friends, junior or senior colleagues, respectively. Interesting. So Saturn can show elder siblings from Aruda.
So
Ete,
10th house making the Argala to 11th house.
does it? From 11th, 10th houses and 12th they're from. So that's Viroda Argala, correct?
Sorry, I mean the vice versa.
Viroda,
Mhm.
yes, correct. Eter,
Eter,
Vyaya,
Vyaya,
Evam,
Evam,
Labha.
Lava,
These sources will indicate gains or losses depending on the 11th or 12th house association. Planets will either associate with the 11th house or 12th house, or neither, or both. Okay? Remember the rule. Only people and institutions, that is bodies from the Ruda, not emotions. Okay? Not emotions, not how people are acting. So this can be expanded. The sun does not have to indicate only government, it can also indicate your father. Venus can indicate spouse. These are people or institutions. Saturn lords the 11th from Aruda. Okay. This is a fellow called JRD Tata. Can you see this chart? It's okay. Okay. Aruda Lagna is in Leo.
Venus.
Venus and Sun are in the 12th they're from. Oh, problem?
Yes.
Legal body, taxes, maybe even politicians. Okay. Does Moon associate?
Russian Drishti on it.
Moon has Rashi Drishti on it.
Exactly.
Now, something. To be sure of what is being lost, the Moon has to justify it. Also, whatever Moon is joined and whatever Moon is dispositing, that is what is lost. You don't lose Sun and Venus. You lose whatever the Moon is associated with. That is the trick to this Moon Nischayena. That is the clue.
But is Russian Drishti enough?
See, Moon is having Rashi Drishti on Venus and Sun. Yes, the loss will be there. What is being lost? Loss is Ketu.
flying body.
Let's read. The government of India nationalized his Tata Airlines and made Air India out of it. Can Ketu indicate airlines? Yeah? Flying bodies? Good. The 12th house is joined Sun and Venus and is aspected by the moon. Society agreed as nationalization was believed to be good. Both Nehru and Indira Gandhi has Cancer Lagna, and they were responsible for the nationalization. 11th house Mars is Atma Karaka. Very strong colleagues, engineers and heads of his companies will give him huge gains, which is true. He maybe earned from his engineers. That's how they could make Tata Motors, Tata Airlines, everything Tata.
Really
Comes from
wealthy,
there.
yeah.
Very gifted and skilled engineers. Is Mars friendly to Gemini? Yes, you're
Yes.
shaking your head and saying no,
Yes, yes, yes.
but Mars, Mercury and Venus is the business group, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
over here. They're friendly to each other in this scheme.
And Mercury is friendly to all except
Sun.
Sun.
But he originally made a fortune. I mean, this is
Yes.
in incident, so that means that his Mars in 11th might be stronger than Venus and Sun in 12th.
Yes. See, here's the thing. You only need one graha to get fortune. Just need one. We're not counting who is stronger, expenses or losses. We're counting who is giving us gains and who's giving us losses. If there are more over here, it just means that there are more people who want to take money from us. It doesn't mean we cannot earn lots.
Yes, because earlier there was a big term that if you have more grahas or if Ashtaka Varga of this Rashi is higher than Ashtaka Varga of 11
Yeah.
from Ruda Lagna and
Yeah.
join with less grahas, then the expenses will be more.
Sources of expenditure more.
So that means that Venus in 12th is actually giving Aruda to
Argala?
Argala to
To
Mars,
Mars.
and actually, although it is signifying the losses, it's actually also signifying the gains for the 11th.
How? This fellow is in 12th,
Yeah,
so he's having Argala here, right?
yeah.
So that means somebody who is making him lose something wants him to gain something.
Mm-hmm.
So that can mean that some of the attorneys, lawyers, the legal body, bureaucrats, want him later on to be gaining something, which is true. They changed the laws so that later on these engineers could have much more freedom to work. Isn't that so? In India they did that, even in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But truth be
Rashi-
told, he was not the one who really made the money for Tata. It was his predecessors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was just the one who inherited the whole thing. So whilst yes, he was gaining from the engineers, he was not the one who made the main money for Tata. He was not the one who really made the company. He's just responsible for. I mean, if you have somebody who's supposed to lead the company and you see this, you have to
Can we say that?
you have to think again. Huh?
Can we say that this Venus, which is in 4th from Lagna and 12th from Aruda Lagna and friend of Mars, could be actually the cars who are, which are the main source of his wealth, or not?
See, Venus, we know that Mars are the ones who are giving him his money, engineers. Okay? You could say then that Venus are the bureaucrats who are allowing the vehicle laws to change so that the cars will come. So the engineers can build cars. You can say that. But they'll want some monetary incentives first because they are in 12th Maruda Lagna. This is like government saying, we will allow this law to pass, but you have to give us something our way first. Then everything will be fine.
You have to oil the
Rajiv
wheels.
Gandhi completely changed all those laws. What was his Lagna? Remember?
Yeah, Gandhi.
Leo. Rajiv Gandhi had Leo Simha Lagna.
Russian.
It's good for the Aruda.
You just mixed two personalities, how one Lagna is influencing another's Aruda Lagna, and that works, I mean, in the broader scheme, not, I mean,
Always. Where is the current Prime Minister's Lagna from your Aruda Lagna?
Mhm.
Will he support your business or not? Will his ideals support what you're doing or not? If not, consider moving.
Or putting pressure on somebody to have him re-elect somebody else.
Yes, if you think you have that Oh well, then so be it. Do it. But it works, doesn't it? Yes, it works. The principle that has to come out here. It is what moon associates with which is lost. And by association, conjunction and dispositor only. That is what you lose. What you're losing is the moon. If moon. Now here's also the trick. You see a person's chart, and you see moon is not associating with the loss. You predict blindly. You will not lose anything. Government can do what they want. You will not lose anything. Huh? Brother? Yes. See? Blindly you can predict. You will not lose anything. Relax. Government can say what they want. This person can say what they want. It will not happen.
In this case, when moon was not lording the 12th house, he would not lose anything.
No. Rashi Drishti caused the loss. Whether it was lording or not. Rashi Drishti caused the loss.
Lord
It's
and
not
Rashi
question, because
in
now
this
you
case.
said just
There is an association with moon. But what is lost is associated with the moon here. Moon is joint Ketu. That is what you lose. Saturn is also the lord of this. It can be huge land portions. Saturn indicates barren land, no buildings. Barren land, like grass fields. You know, places where planes have to land also. Airstrips. That's what Saturn indicates. Nothing is built there. Maybe it's paved. Maybe there's some grubble. Maybe there's some grass. That's Saturn. So he lost that and Ketu, the airplanes themselves.
If no planet, lordship.
Yes.
If in Cancer, moon in Cancer.
Moon is in Cancer, you lose the moon. I mean Cancer, that is, what is moon? What is moon? Can indicate home. Can indicate home. Mother, in some extreme cases, yes. If you think that somebody will if you think the mother is an expense, okay. But home. If you have, if moon, Venus is associated boats. Boats. Like if you own a boat or something like that. What else can be there? Something to do with water. You could lose a well. You could lose a well. Okay, after a well, somebody else would take it. Government say no. This has become government's well, not your well.
Pools,
Pools.
something.
Yes, swimming pool. You build a big swimming pool. They say no. This will be national arena for swimming. Government says,
It's open, but.
Huh?
It's open.
yeah, it happens. Yes, people have these own private schools and this. They some big hall. They build a school. I mean a swimming pool. The government says, it's a nice swimming pool. It will be part of government swimming pool now. Okay, but you don't have moon associated with 12th.
No. I don't have Venus.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Congratulations.
But
So nobody can take anything from you. Even if they try, they cannot. You have to give it.
But should I take the Lord of 12?
Yes, but there's no major loss. That means that most not really. Nothing big good to be taken from you. Oh, here's just the details of him. You can read this in the break. We'll pause now, and I think that Jens.